Oil and gas Speyside stages. 4th round of the 2009 brick&steel 205 Ecosse Challenge, 6th round of the Hankook Scottish Rally Championship. Everyone loves it. Up in Elgin, 45 miles, wee bit of tar, a lot of gravel, cracking event. The drivers and navigators absolutely adore it. The organisers like it too, the SRC like it. It's won the Champions Cup for the best organised event 2 of the last 3 years. Fraser, you've done it as a driver. What makes the Speyside so great?
I think, Leslie, it's everything you've mentioned. It's the tarmac stages, the gravel stages, the organisation of the event is fantastic. It's such a flowing event in every sense of it. Competitively, you've got the Cooper Park at the beginning. It's great to be there in front of the spectators on the tarmac before you head out into the stages proper. And when you do get out into the stages, into the forests, they're just amazing. They have absolutely everything you want. There's fast stages, there's technical stages, and you've even got the very fast flowing sections, and the corners and some of the stages are cambered as well, which means you can carry so much more speed into them. It's just a fantastic event in every sense of the imagination.
I want to come back to what you said about the tar right at the start there, because although the Speyside does appear to be a gravel event, there's a couple of wee spectator special stages on tarmac in Cooper Park and Elgin. And it's a bit of a funny one, because it's basically a gravel event, but you've got this little bit of tar at the start. And I remember I asked Jimmy Girvin, the Scottish champion, about this last year, if he was just going to take it easy on the tarmac, and he said no. He said you've got to go flat out, because he'd lost rallies by 1, 2, 3 seconds. As a driver, what do you do, Fraser? You're sitting there on the start line. Do you go hammer and tongs to the tarmac and risk breaking your car, or do you run the risk at the end of the day of falling short by 2 seconds and kicking yourself?
It's a difficult one. I always approach Cooper Park very much in case of let's drive it neat and tidy. You're always guaranteed a good time in tarmac if you do that. Not make any mistakes, because if you make a mistake in Cooper Park, that could be the end of your rally. But I tell you, when you're waiting in the queue for the start line and you've got all the spectators there just chatting away to you when you've got your window down, the emotion starts to build up, and you want to go out there and you want to show off effectively. You want to get the fastest time, and just put that little psychological thing in your competitors' minds that I am the fastest so far, you're going to have to chase me for the rest of the day. So it's a hell of a balance, but I think you should really just try and take it neat, get through the stages, and make the 1 or 2 seconds count when you actually get to the end of the rally. You don't want to lose it in Cooper Park.
The Speyside's a very important event for the 205 Ecosse Challenge, as I was looking at some stats earlier today. And every year since 2005, the crew that have won the Speyside Challenge section have gone on to win the overall championship. So you can't really tell a lot because it's still early in the season, but we do have that trend, and it's turning out to be a very tight year. You and Duncan and Johnny Smith in the 1-9s both had their ups and downs. What's been going on with them?
I think in Ewan and Johnny in the 1-9s, we've certainly got 2 talented drivers. We've seen that at times it's set, not just within the 205 championship, but also within the 2-wheel drives overall. Ewan's very quick. The last 2 events he's had problems. The evening before on the Friday night, he had a fire on the granite, and then on the Scottish the engine cut out, and that is not what you want to be thinking about the night before an event. Usually very well prepared. In fact, they are very well prepared. I think it was just bad luck that caught them out in these 2 occasions. So it'll be good. Hopefully he'll get a clean week leading up to the Speyside, and then he'll be able to focus completely on his driving on the day. For Johnny, I think he's not been able to get to the end of events. He's certainly been able to match Ewan in the stages without a shadow of a doubt. So I think for Johnny, if he can just concentrate on what he's doing, his own driving, not look at the times, and at the end of the day you'll see the times, and I'm sure he'll be right up there with Ewan.
Well, I'm looking at the 1.6 points tables right in front of me here, and it's giving me a headache just looking at them. John McCrone, Colin Smith, Gary Pearson, Ross Chalmers, Graham Shoneville. How'd you pick a winner out of that lot?
I don't think you can. The guys are so well matched. I mean, John is ahead by 4 points over Colin. Colin was leading the Scottish, but just couldn't resist the pressure that John was putting on him in the last 2 stages in A. They've got the pace, without a doubt. Both of them could win rallies. We've seen that this season. Gary Pearson, he set a blinding time in the first stage in the Scottish, a good 9 seconds clear of the next quickest man, who was John McCrone. He had unfortunately dropped a shaft, so that was him out for the rest of the day. We know that Graham Shoneville, he's a very quick guy, very quick. He's been leading events this season. Unfortunately, he's left the road, not been able to finish, and he's sitting in 0 points just now. and that's not a fair reflection in the talent that Graham has. And then again, we've got Scott Erskine. Last event, he was setting the fastest time as well, so he's coming on very well. So picking a winner out of this one, Leslie, it's names in a hat, I think.
Well, if we're picking a hat, we'll need to put one more name in, and that's one guy we've not mentioned so far, Stephen Smith. Second full season of rallying, really shot to prominence on the Speyside last year. He came third overall, was setting times that were troubling the eventual championship winners. Do you think Stephen could be the dark horse in the Speyside?
I think he could. He clearly goes well in the Speyside. He enjoys it. And I was down at the Albar Games Trophy last weekend, and Stephen was there with Stuart, and albeit it was on tarmac, they were going very well. I was very impressed with the pace of them. One section of the road, we had obviously the winners, Billy McClelland, and then you had a Darian as well. And the next fastest person through that section, it was Stephen Smith in the 205, which is great to see, considering there's a 6R4 and many other types of machinery there. The event finished day with second in class and 9th overall, I think it was. So he's clearly on form. He enjoys the Speyside, so he's going to be up there.
Well, it's not just Steve that's been out since the last challenge round. We've had a few other guys out as well. Sean and Ian Robson scored a fantastic class win on the DW construction stages down at Holborn last weekend. They're absolutely flying. Sean got a great result in the Scottish, and he could be up there in the Speyside as well. Davy Crozier was also out. He was doing his home event, the Greystoke stages, with cousin Alison back in the... Sorry, half cousin Alison, I should say. We got in trouble for calling her cousin before. She was back in the left-hand seat, but Kirsty Marshall will be back from Speyside. Davy, as always, was just absolutely delighted to get to the finish, and we really look forward to having this great character back with us on the Speyside. So much going on. It's going to be a great event, isn't it, Fraser?
It is, it certainly is. We can't discount Jordan Black and Luke McLaren. They're sitting third and fourth in the championship just now, just a point or so between them. So the Speyside is going to be, as you say, Leslie, a fantastic event. I'm sure the guys will enjoy it, and yet again, it is going to be very, very close.
We'll look forward to seeing you up in Elgin.